Welcome everyone to the video demonstration of AONES, the Automated Opioid News Event-Based Surveillance System. This will be a brief video demo of how to use the tool. For more information about why the tool was built, how the data is collected for the tool, how to use the tool, and also how to interpret data from the tool, please refer to the full AONES website available from kflaphi.ca. To begin with a very brief background of the data coming into the tool, a list of articles from all over the world is collected from a service called GDELT. We then use multiple techniques to filter all of these articles to only those that are opioid related. After pulling the full text of these articles, we categorize them into three types, focusing on those articles that provide critical information on what is circulating in the drug supply. Specifically, the three categories are alerts. These are primarily public entities, health units, health organizations, harm reduction organizations, or the police who provide drug warnings about critical events in the drug supply, but also other articles that can provide this information. We also have a category of crime articles. These are primarily confiscations by the police, which provide information on the circulating drugs, and a broad other category that is not the focus of most of the dashboard. After the full text is pulled, we then use OpenAI to extract data from these articles about the drug supply. Specifically, we're looking at fields, the drug itself, information about the drug, for example, its appearance, form, or the effect it has, as well as any information about specific drug events, specifically what happened and who was affected by it. We also use OpenAI to extract the location. We then further process this location such that it is always reported at the same geographic level, in our case, the municipality or the city. This ensures both privacy and allows what we call for normalization, i.e., so multiple articles that are referring to the same municipality can be grouped as one. This dashboard is based in 4 different use cases: see recent alerts, track local drug confiscations, look at recent themes in the drug supply, and explore the full data set. Over the course of this video demo, we will go briefly through each one of these, but before we begin, first mention that throughout the entire dashboard, we take a trust but verify approach. This is because of the AI techniques we have used throughout the data pipeline process. We will always provide the URL to the original article so that users can check the data that has been extracted and review the original article for accuracy. Before we begin with the 4 use cases, I also want to mention that along the top bar of all pages, you will be able to see the most recent record extracted. The dashboard updates every 3 hours, but if there is no data in the last extract that is relevant, this field will not be updated. It reports based on UTC, or what is more commonly understood as Greenwich Mean Time. As well, there's a help button at the top of each page, which will bring you to the full documentation for the tool available from kflaphi.ca. So beginning with the first page, which is the See Research Alert page. This is the main page because we feel it should be the most commonly used page, as it provides the most critical information about concerns in the drug supply. Along the top of the page, you can see the filters that are available for this page. I should mention at this point that the dashboard defaults to filtering to only show data from Canada, but it does contain data from both Canada and the United States, and you can change this by simply clicking the filter and adding the United States in. You can also filter to smaller geographies or combinations of geographies. For example, I could filter by using these arrows to just Colorado and Connecticut, or I could filter to Ontario and Quebec. There are also further levels of geography going down to the municipality. You can clear the filters on all pages by using an arrow that looks like this, so it goes back to the default. This page also defaults to showing information articles from the last 7 days, as it is thought that this will provide information since perhaps you last checked the dashboard, but you can switch it to looking at only articles from today, based on Greenwich Mean Time, the past 30 days, or the past 90 days. The data about recent alerts are shown in 2 ways: the data table and the map. The data table is sorted by date. So you can see August 7th, the current date, is the most recent date, and as well as providing a summary of fields, the locations mentioned, the title of the original article, a URL to the original article, as I said, to support the trust but verify approach taken by this dashboard. I do want to say that we cannot guarantee that the URL will still work, as websites may be taken down. And you must also open any web page at your own risk. The remainder of the fields are a summary of the extracted information from the article. So we talk information about the drug event and where known, information about the impacted population, any drug names, and a synthesis of any of the other information about the drug properties taken, including drugs that it might be mixed with, effects, and other appearances, for example, resemble blue oxycodone pills. In the map, articles are color-coded based on how old they are. We're only showing articles for the last 7 days, so they're all purple, but older articles will show as a pale blue. The map shows which municipalities these articles come from, and if you go to a tooltip, it provides quite a significant more information. For example, it provides the location, the number of articles in that location in the selected time range, where there are multiple articles. It provides the most data, the most recent and the earliest, and then a summary of both the drug event, the drugs found in the article and mentioned. If I go to a different article, we can also see it will provide other locations that are mentioned in those articles, which can provide information, especially as these often happen all in a small geography. So if we zoom in, we can see that these are likely the same article that all mention each other. So the map, you can navigate and zoom both through your mouse and through these buttons here. You can also use the map as a temporary filter by using the lasso tool here, also known as the rectangular select, to select just a group of articles, which are then filtered in the table here. Moving on to the local drug supply page. This is intended to provide additional information on drugs circulating in the drug supply. It looks very similar to the alerts page, but also provides a filter for the drug name. For example, we can search hydromorphone, and it is filtered to only the articles in Canada the past 7 days that mention hydromorphone, both in the table and on the map. Again, we can use the clear filters to remove this. The table here has slightly different information than on the See Recent Alert page, as it focuses first and foremost on the drug itself and the properties of it. So it includes the drug name, the form, whether it was mixed with anything, its appearance, and the quantity confiscated. The tooltip is also slightly different, as there is no drug event information on it, simply the name of the drugs and any other locations. Moving on to the third use case, look at recent themes in the drug supply. This is actually 4 separate pages where the overall aim is to surface what may be new and emerging in the drug supply, while understanding the limitations in the data source and how it is realistic and appropriate to account and aggregate from that. Of the 4 subpages, we start with the articles over time page. Here we present in basic graph form the number of articles meeting certain criteria over time, grouped by the types of articles. So we have alerts, crime, and other. This is the first page where the other category also appears. Graphs are presented in 2 ways, 2 different indicators, to address issues in counting based on the data source. Because there can be multiple articles reporting on the same event, especially where that event had significant impact, we report a graph showing the number of distinct locations per day, which should limit the impact of a similar event being reported multiple times. However, since some articles can include multiple locations, we do also report the number of articles over time. Used in conjunction, they can be used to assess the trends in how a specific term are used over time and change over time. For example, if a term is becoming more common. The intent behind this page is to do just that. Search for specific terms using largely this open filter button here to see how it has been reported. For example, if we search for a recent contaminant in the drug supply, metadidamine, we can see, and we move it to to include all geographies, we can see that there was a spike in alerts in early June that related this new contaminant. To continue the trust but verify approach, there's a table on this side that provides all the original articles that mention this. You can further filter this table by clicking individual data points, and now it is only those articles from that day. You can also change the time period on the graph shown by using this filter here. The second page is a watch over time page. This page allows users to watch the geographic spread of articles over time. Again, the intent is to look for specific terms and to see how it moves geographically. As articles get older, they move from being bright purple to pale blue. If we were to use the same term as from the last page, we can press move. Start, we can change when it starts. We can then press, lost my, go. We can then press play. And you can see starting on May 10th, there were no articles that mention this. But as we move in time, you can see the individual days here. You can also pause and go day by using these arrows back and forth. So we wait for the period to appear. Oh, so we have our first article, which appeared in Pennsylvania. And as we move through time, more articles will appear. And the original articles will become closer to blue. So it is being mentioned in various places in the United States now. And as we go through that, we now hit that peak in early June that we saw from the previous page, and we can see several articles appearing in one region of Michigan, which is where these articles were focused on. On both this page and the previous page, you can search not only by drug name, but also what the drug was mixed with, its form or effect, but you can only search by any one of these, and you can do so by clicking these buttons. Moving on to the last two pages under recent themes. These two pages are similar and really aim to surface those terms we haven't seen before, so we can identify things we should be searching for on other pages of the dashboard. They focus specifically on drug properties, specifically the name and any name of the drug and any drugs it was mixed with, the drug's form, its appearance, and its effect. It looks at terms that are proportionally more common in recent articles than in articles for preceding periods. We provide 2 time periods, where the most recent period is either the last 7 days, or the last 30 days. For more information on the exact calculations of these, please refer to the website documentation. Filters on these pages are available for both geography, as before, as well as the type of article. So for example, you could look at only those drugs and forms that are appearing in alerts. All the data here is presented in what are called tree maps. In these visuals, the larger the box, the more frequently it appeared in the past 7 days or 30 days, if that's what we were on. You can also click on a box to filter to only those related articles on the other types of information. Again, we have a table here that provides the list of the original articles. So one example of how we could use this is by looking at drug appearance. We can see that there have been more words recently using the term blue, both blue oxycodone and blue inscription, than in the preceding periods. The final page, Emerging Themes and Relationships, is similar to the previous page, but this time it looks at relationships between the drug name and either its form, its appearance, its effect, or in combination with itself. We switch to emerging terms in the last 30 days. We can see that most of these still are presented in the form of tree maps, but they're slightly different. In this case, the tree maps are color-coded based on this other property. For example, all of these blue here are drugs that have been shown in powder form more frequently in the past 30 days than in the previous period. For the drug name, it's showing combinations of drugs, and so we use a slightly different visual that interprets this. For example, we can use this visual to see that the most frequent combination is between fentanyl and xylazine, as it is the largest proportion of this width here. Other combinations include fentanyl and benzodiazepine, custard powder and tramadol, opiates and MDMA, various combinations. The final page of the dashboard is the Explore the Full Data Set. This allows you to search for any articles within the past 100 days using the widest possible range of filters. It begins by keeping the Filters tab open. There are filters for date range and article, as we've seen before, and several different ways to filter geography. You can filter by country or province, as we had before, but in this time there's a slight variation in that you can also open text search by city. You can use the map to filter, but it does require some specific examples. If you were to zoom in and select a region, a small region, you then have to choose all of these places, holding down the control button, all of these individual places that you selected on this table to the side in order for the filter to be applied. We then also have a wide range of text filters. Again, you may search drug name mixed with form and effect, as we've seen before. There are also a wide range of drug effects. To provide more information and ideas for what you could be looking for, we do provide the lists as well of all of the fields. You can either use the open text or search within. Again, use Control to select multiple options. All of the filters filter each other. So as we filtered this map to only this region, the lists here decrease. Again, as we chose a drug property, the rest of these decreased. At any point in time, you can see the number of articles your current filters apply to, in this case 32. And again, you may use this to clear all the filters and go back to the default. When you have finished selecting your filters, you can use this arrow to close the panel and open the table of information, which includes all of the fields: the date, title, link, location, drug event, and impacted population, and all the drug properties. As well, at the top, you can see which types of properties there are currently filters applied to. And you can go back to the filter panel by, again, clicking the arrow. Thank you for listening to the introduction to the AONES dashboard. We hope that you find it useful. And again, at any time, there's more information available by clicking the help button and going to the full website documentation.